All right. So as you know, the first three questions, basically, right, you get some sentences and you're required to identify errors. Errors of punctuation or capitalization as seen, right? So there are three possible errors and it's D if there is no error. So A, B, C would be an error, D would be no error. All right, so let's go. So several boys participated in the boat race. Stephen, Amir, Raul, and James. What's the answer? You see a mixture. So person saying D and so forth. Alright. Just so somebody says A. So it's actually A, students, right? So those who thought it was D, it's actually A. Now why is it A? There shouldn't be a comma right there, right? A comma shouldn't be here. It should be a colon, all right? So it's the incorrect punctuation that is used, all right? So I see a lot of persons saying A in the chat. Nice, all right? So go to the exam tomorrow. Remember the questions. Most of the time, the questions repeat. So if you see this question, remember it's A. The comma is incorrect, all right? Let's move to question 2. Hope you're seeing the screen clearly. So question 2. Question 2 says, the final spot on the itinerary is Port of Spain, Trinidad, and Tobago. What's the answer? All right, everybody's on a roll. Everybody's saying B. So B is the answer. Why is it B though? Why is it B? Why is it B? Everybody's saying B, but no one knows why it's B. Okay, I see somebody saying in the chat. All right, Serena. So Serena said it's B because the P for port is supposed to be capitalized, and that's correct. All right, let's go. So we're at number 3. See who's gonna get this one right. The principal of Queen's College explained, if you study hard, you'll pass your exam. What's the answer? What's the answer to number 3? All right, I saw somebody says no error. All right, person saying no error. Person saying B. All right. So we have conflicting answers, right? So some person saying B, some person saying A, some person saying D. All right. Now, students, this is actually A, right? Answer for this one is actually A. Now, why is it A? The P here shouldn't be capitalized, right? Yes, yes, Aisha, I see you in the chat. So Aisha says it must be a common P. All right. So it must be a common P. All right. So if you see that question, as I said, questions repeat. We'll see them on the other papers. You remember that the P in this case for principal should be common. All right. We're gonna go through as quickly as possible. All right. Somebody in the chat saying how long it will be. We'll go through as quickly as possible. And you know, as we said, some of the questions have repeated. Therefore, those ones we just run through them. All right, but we want to cover as much questions as we can. So when you go to the exam, quick and fast, you'll be out of there. All right, but let's move. So number 4 to 10, as you know, these are incomplete sentences. They basically want you to put the correct word. All right. Now, you know, these are English-based questions. Basically, you might be wondering why we have English-based questions on EDPM exam, right? That's all the exam is set up. Remember, we talk about grammatical errors and so forth, right? Spelling errors. So therefore, you need to know how to properly spell, right? And know what's grammatically correct. But let's go. So the tour guide, the word should be advised, right? Advised. So it's C. All right. Somebody said D, but it's C. All right. SED. Let's move. We're at number 5. So last week, Samud and I, number 5, Samud and I. All right. So Samud and I celebrated, as it says, last week, right? Past tense. So let's go. Number 6. I hope we're not looking at any answer sheets, but when we get to the EDPM questions, we'll see. All right. So after the concert, the students could not remember where. All right. Everybody must know that. D. All right. Let's move. Number 7. Everyone was. Right. Number 7. So number 7 says everyone was relieved. Right. So this answer is B in this case. Right. Relieved. Let's move. So we're at number 8. The students in Mrs. Robertson's class were pleased with their number 8. All right, so number 8 is C. All right, so everybody in the chat can spell, man. We have no problem with the spelling, right? We have no problem with spelling and the grammar. All right, we're at number 9. Makeda wrote. Makeda wrote. Okay, so we see we have some conflicting answers. Are we answering the previous question? Oh, it's answer for the previous question. Yes, so number 9. Number 9 is A, right? Separate, right? We're at number 10. Bus. Bus what? Number 10. All right. Some people say B for number 10. Some person says what? Some person says C. All right. Some majority is winning. Some person say B. Some person say C. But some person say A. All right. Now in this case, the answer is C. All right. Bus fare. All right. F-A-R-E. So remember that when you go to the exam, those who are not so sure, it's both fear, and that would be C, F-A-R-E. All right, so we're at the EDPM questions now. This is the part where it gets a little more tricky. So who thought they were good at English? We're moving now to the EDPM, the computer-based questions that you would have done throughout the school year. All right, so let's go. So number 11, which of the following abbreviations may be used in manuscript to represent the word necessary? Necessary. All right. So number 11 is A, students. Now, in your lesson that you learned working with manuscript, that topic, working with manuscript, it's NEC apostrophe Y. That's what you would have seen, right? So this is the closest basically. All right, NEC Y. All right, none of the others would be suitable. All right, so remember that. Which of the following words is represented by the abbreviation SH? Let's see what persons are saying. SH. All right, persons are saying A. All right, it's A. Now, why couldn't it be C? Why couldn't it be C? Number 12. Why couldn't it be C? What's for C? What's for should? What would should be? So suppose it said should. All right, Kwan, I see you. So Kwan said SHD. So remember that, students. So if they ask you what is the abbreviation SHD, you would know it should. All right, let's move. So we're at number 13 now. All right. So let's go. So in which of the following components of a computer can the CPU, the ROM, and the RAM be found? Number 13, and it's the motherboard. All right. Yes, everybody is sure of that. It's the motherboard. All right, remember that. So the motherboard is like the computer circuit board, basically. Right? These are all found on the computer's motherboard. All right, number 14. So the following groups represent only output devices. Let's see if we know our devices. Only output devices. All right, somebody says A. All right, anything else? Person saying A. I see a lot of A's in the chat. Some persons are saying D. All right, I see A, I see D. And then I see a whole stream of D's now. All right, now let's look. If you would have watched the video, we would have went through this. But yes, the answer is actually D. Now, why is it D out of all the others? All the others have an input device. So if you know your difference between input and output device, you should have no problem. See it? You have keyboard here, which is input, scanner is an input, mouse is an input. So the plotter, the printer, and the speaker are all output devices. All right? Yes, so let's go. So remember that, the plotter. I hope everybody know what a plotter is, right? So we're moving, right? Due to the essence of time. Which of the following devices may be classified as both input and output? Controversial question. We're at 15. All right. Person saying A. Person saying B. Right? A, B, D. I'm seeing a lot of answers. All right. Nobody saying C. Well, yes. So I see a lot of answers, students. But sometimes, as we said, if we're not sure, use the elimination method and then we decide. All right. Now it could be a mouse, right? You know what a mouse is input device, right? You will have learned that in your class. It could be a keyboard either. You're familiar with a keyboard and you know you use a keyboard to type, right? And what you type is displayed on a screen. So the keyboard is an input device. So you would argue between B and D, right? Now, you should have learned that a webcam or a camera, digital camera, is an input device, right? Headphones, on the other hand, is output. So think of the headphone as a speaker, right? Think of the headphone as a speaker. But when we talk about headphones nowadays, we have what we call earpods, right? And the earpods have a built-in mic in them, right? You don't need to have your phone close to you. So D is the answer for 15 students. Headphones. All right. So you go to the exam, don't forget, headphones is the answer. All right. Let's go. 16. Which of the following should be given most consideration by a company which is desirous of designing an office that is ergonomically efficient? All right. This topic falls under computer care and ergonomics. All right. Everybody's saying the right thing. Yes. So it's C, right? Type of office furniture being used. All right. So what you have and how you organize it in the organization, right? That's what determines the ergonomics of that office or organization. All right. Number 17. One way to avoid repetitive strains or injuries due to prolonged viewing of a computer monitor is to use, right, the anti-glare screen. All right, very good, very good. 18. So the following storage media normally uses a USB. Easy question. 18. All right, A. All right, so remember your flash drive of a USB connector. Nothing else here has USB connected to it. All right, moving on. So the following types of software is used to boot a computer. Boot a computer. All right, controversy in the answers. Seen A, we're seeing B. All right, seen A and see B. Now, first, we have to know what boot means. Boot means actually to start up. When they say boot, sometimes they say boot up the computer, right? That basically means to start up the computer. All right, so it's a system software that does so, right? The system software, right? Or the operating system software is the same thing. So you may see this same question and they may have operating system, or they may have system software, is the same thing. All right, so remember that. Moving on. What is the most appropriate media for Mary to store the presentation on? Now, it's a scenario. Mary is producing an electronic presentation for a CEO, right, who is traveling. So you're asking what's the most efficient thing to use, right? And it's a flash drive. You know, a flash drive is small. You put it in your pocket, put it in your bag, right? That's the thing that everyone is using, right? No, right? We know we're advanced and we have cloud storage and all that, but the flash drive continues to be used. All right, let's go. 21. The term wrap used in Microsoft Word does this do? All right, person saying D, everybody's saying D. Now, this question, right? If you remembered doing Microsoft Excel spreadsheet software, you have a feature called wrap text, right? Remember that. So, if you remember that, you know that D is the most suitable answer in this case. All right, so it's D for 21, right? But it thought otherwise, it's D. Okay, let's move. What data capture method is represented in the diagram above? What's this? All right. Barcode. All right. Going on good. So everybody knows this is a barcode. Everybody must know that's a barcode. You must have seen this at some point in time. You go to the supermarket and even on your books, anything at all. Right? This is there displayed. All right. 23. So the following advantage is unique to the data capture method shown in the diagram. Right? 23. Okay, somebody saying if we can tick off the answers. All right, we'll do that as we continue. All right. All right, so person saying D, person saying C. Now, somebody had asked in the video that I would have done, why is it D and not C? All right, so somebody says C/D. All right. So why is it D and not C? We don't want to just leave it like that. We want to give you an explanation, basically. All right. So C says enables automatic coding of manufactured products. All right. Sounds like it. D says enables automatic itemized billing of items purchased. Per person saying B in the chat. Well, let me explain. Somebody says they can't see. Enlarge your screen if you can't see. All right. Or rejoin the lab. But yes, let me zoom it up if you can't see. I hope you can see better now. Zoom it up a little. Okay. So as I was saying, yeah, man, I'm going to tick off the answers persons are asking. But I'm just going to explain 23 first. So I'm saying to you that enables automatic coding of manufactured products wouldn't be a unique advantage. It's not unique because you can use other methods to code products. Remember, you have what is called a QR code, right? Everybody must know about a QR code now. So you can put QR codes on a product as well. So it's not unique to just that. However, enables automatic itemized billing of items purchased. We can say that because the barcode is essentially used with the POS system. When you go to the cashier, you purchase items, they cash them. That's what they scan, right? That's what they scan in order to create your bill, right? As when they scan the barcode, brings up information about the product name, the cost, and so forth. All right. So therefore, it is D and not C. All right, let's go. All right, 24. Which paragraph alignment has been applied? Which paragraph alignment has been applied? Okay, left. All right. Now, like to explain. Why is it left and not right and not center and not justified? Right here, let me start over here first. On the left hand side, you see that it's even, right? Everything is even. Over this side, however, this line is a little taller, this one's a little shorter, this one's a little taller, right? So it's uneven on this side. All right, that's how you know it would be left alignment. If it was even on this side, as though it is even over here, it would be justified. And if this text, this last text that you had here was in the center, right, you know that it is everything would be centered, or all the information in this paragraph would be centered. All right, so left align, and I highlighted it for persons asking. All right, 25. Data contained on bank cards are accessed by sliding card through a machine. This process is called, what's this process called? All right, I see persons saying C. All right, now I'm here to tell you, only one person said the right answer so far. Two. All right, now I'm here to tell you that 25 is actually B. 25 is actually B, right? Remember, basically talking about computer, we're talking about technology. You're saying swiping, right? Swiping a card. We know that term, swiping a card. But what happens when the card is swiped? It reads what is on that card, right? That's how it knows the information, right? So when you insert it or you swipe it, it reads the information of the card. So reading is the answer for 25. All right, so don't get tricked, right? Because you know when you put in a card or you use a card, you basically swipe. It's B. All right, so let's move. 26. Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive are all examples of. What's 26? All right, so 26 is A, cloud storage. All right, 27. Private cloud storage may be best defined as a service that. So we just talked about cloud storage up in this question right here. It's asking about private cloud storage now. All right, 27. Let's go, students. All right, 27 is C. All right, so 27 is in C. Dedicated to one organization and available to authorized persons. Now you could reason out the question if you didn't know. It says private cloud storage. So you know it must be to one organization. Could be the rest of answers. All right, so use the elimination method if you're not sure. All right, 28. Which of the following features is used to create presentation with a consistent appearance on all slides? 28. Let's hear the answers. Let's hear the answers. 28. All right. So many persons know the answer. I thought everybody would say C, right? Thought everybody would say C, but yes, it's B, right? Slide master. All right. A design template. You may be familiar with design in PowerPoint, right? When they say design template, that's not what they're talking about. You know, a template is basically a layout that you get, right, to use. And design template basically has a particular appearance or a particular background. But when you want to have everything consistent on your slides, Slide Master is a better thing to use, right? So that everything is consistent, your font and all of that. All right, let's move. At the end of a business letter, 5 blank spaces, what we put? 29. Okay, signature, everybody must know that, right? Nothing else could have been there, so that's an easy run through. All right. Which of the following combination of keys is used as a shortcut for saving a document on a computer? What you use when you want to save a document? 30B. All right. Control S. All right. I remember Control C is for copy and Control V is for paste. All right. Control P is for print. Let's go. Which of the following is not a legal document? Not a legal document. All right. Specification. you should have learned about legal documents, and you would have done that in your SBA piece as well. All right. So specification is not one. Let's go. The main purpose of the minutes of a meeting is to, all right, so summarize what has taken place at a meeting. All right, so it's a summary. Now, an agenda, remember, an agenda is a list of items that will be discussed at the meeting. So this falls under meeting documents as a topic. Let's move. We're not wasting any time. All right. Now, as you see this, you know this is a spreadsheet document, right? And question that follow 33 to 35 will basically be related to this. All right. So what formula was entered in G3 to calculate Kerr's average? G3. All right. So controversy right there. Controversy right there. All right. Let's go. So 33 is actually C. Now, for those who weren't so sure, first thing you have to do is to identify the cell addresses, right? So you know average is the formula, so they didn't trick you with anything. You just need to put in the proper cell addresses. All right. So carries right here. Carries in column. Carries in column B, row 3. Right. So our figures is from B3 to E3. All right. So it would be C. B3 to E3. Could it be G? G is not calculated in it. Right. G is where the average goes. All right. Let's go. All right. 34. Which name would appear in cell A4? Which name? That's what. Let me show you the same way. Which name would appear in cell A4 if the data in column A was arranged in alphabetical order? Let's see what persons are saying. Person saying D. Person saying C. All right. Person saying a lot of things. All right, students, it's important to read your question carefully and check. Now, students, the answer is actually not there. The answer is not there. All right. So who will go first? Abbott would actually go first, then Davis, right? Then Kerr, then Marriott. So Marriott is supposed to come in B, right? Two R's, right? You know R come before T. So Martin would be the last person. So this question, right, is actually a repeated question, right? I'm not sure which other paper it's on. It's on another paper, maybe the 2020 paper, and they actually put the correct answer, right? So it should be Marriott, all right? So persons who did the exam that year would have gotten a free mark. All right, but yes. So remember, check the question carefully, right? But in this case, the answer wasn't there. All right, moving on. The school has kept the spreadsheets for all my examination results for the last 5 years. Which of the following charts would result? Which of the charts would allow results to be easily compared? 35. Remember, it's the chart up here them talking, you know. So them not the chart, the table. So you're asking which of the following would be most suitable. All right, person saying B. Person saying B. Now, why is it B and not the others? Remember, they want to display the data in here. They want to show what we call it the different axis titles. So you know you have one section where you could show the names, another section where you would show the figures, right? And the subjects. The pie chart mostly using percentage and so forth. We don't have an x and a y axis and a pie chart. All right. So the column chart and the bar chart is the most suitable. So B. All right. Oh, I didn't highlight the answer. All right. So B. Arrangement of data in a specific order is called 36A. So it's sorting, right? So sorting, right, in alphabetical order and stuff like that are in ascending order. All right. We're at 37. Electronic mail may be transmitted using a all right computer, simple thing. All right. It me rub that out and highlight it properly. All right. So computer 38. Which are the following groups formatting features is used in the document? All right. So it's B. Persons in the chat saying it's B. Let's look why it's B. So it's on bold, of course, for sure. It's in the center, as you see that right there. Everything is in the center. And italics, this right here. Italicized right here. Right? So italics is applied. So it's B. All right. 39. So the following denotes a default justification of numbers in a spreadsheet. They're basically asking you which of the following shows a default justification of numbers in a spreadsheet. All right, B. So when you type a number in Excel, the number it will automatically go to the right. Automatically go to the right. All right. So remember that. So persons who are not so sure, it's good to go to the right. You can test it for yourself, just to be sure. All right. When you type text, it goes to the left. It stays at the left. All right. Remember that. Let's go. So the following are advantages of using email instead of postmail. 40. All right. So I and I only. All right. Nice. 41. What is the highest level in the hierarchy of a data organization? 41. Talk to me. All right. Database. All right. Nice. All persons are looking at the answer sheet. All right. Be honest. All right. I see somebody says A. Kiandra. See you saying A. But it's B for 41. 42. All right. Which of the following is the correct order for headings in a memorandum? All right. So it's B. To, from, date, subject. All right. And this is for, a block style memo that you're more than likely be talking about. All right. If it's indented style, it's to, ref, from, date. All right. But yes. Let's go. Which of the following is the most appropriate salutation used in a formal business letter where person's name is not known? All right. So work with B. B is the most suitable answer. All right. B is the most suitable answer. Let's go. Your manager wishes to hold a meeting on the 18th of December. So the following documents should be prepared and distributed prior to the meeting. All right. For the 4 agenda. We told you this not too long ago, Not too long ago when we talked about the minutes of the meeting, we told you what an agenda was. All right. Tells you what is going to take place at the meeting. 45. Show the following is correct order in which heading should appear in the minutes. So many persons may not know this, right? Many persons may not know this. All right, we're seeing some answers. All right, Aisha, I see you a lot of times. All right, so I'm seeing many persons. Leah, Cleo. All right. So in this case, you can check a minutes of a meeting for yourself, students, and you should have it in a textbook. So first thing that would come would be apologies for absent. Who is absent from the meeting? All right. After that, now you would have the minutes of the last meeting, and then you would have matters arising from the minutes. So it's C in this case. So who thought otherwise? It's C in this case. All right. So 25, 45, sorry, C. All right, let's go. Which of the following is the correct classification for the document above? What type of document is this? Name is there. All right. Devindra, I see you giving an explanation. Nice. So Devindra said it's a financial statement, just like a balance sheet. All right. So she's correct. Right. Maybe she's an account student as well. So she knew that answer easily. Right. So financial statement. All right. Try to find out best guard computers against viruses. Easy answer. It's a giveaway answer. Right. So we know it's A. We're not even going to ask. We know it's A. Install an antivirus. All right. We're moving and we're getting there. Which means of communication can be composed using the template above. When you see this, you see the to, you see the send, you see the message and so forth. You know it's okay, yes, it's an email. It's an email. All right. Moving on. We're not wasting any time. This image right here, for which of the following activities is the icon used? What does that icon represent? Modern time now, we must be using email. All right. So it's these students. All right. You're replying to the email. So basically, this arrow is pointing to the left, right? Basically, like it's saying you're sending it back, right? When it is in the opposite direction, right? Basically, like forward, you'll be forwarding an email. All right. So ensure you know that. We're at 50, right? 10 more to go after this. Amelia sends an email, but needs to send a file with message. What is being referred to as file? All right, everybody know that's an attachment. All right, send a file attachment. 51, what is that? The following, which of the following is a distinctive advantage of electronic filing? Distinct advantage of filing. Let's see. Okay, Devindra, others, Abby. All right, seen persons. So it's C. All right, so no controversy there. So the following is an example of a literary work. Everybody must know this, right? No, it's A. All right, so poem, plays, and so forth, all right, are seen as literary work. You know, you don't do much under that topic, but yes, you must be able to identify that. So the following actions would be illegal under Copyright Act. So we are at intellectual property now. That's the topic that we're at, basically, the last topic. All right. So which one of these is copyright? Everybody must know about copyright, you know. Which one of these is copyright? All right, everybody's saying the right thing. So when you purchase a movie, and you burn the movie, right, and you give it to your friend, it's copyright. That's copyright, right? Your friend should actually purchase the movie from the original source as well. All right, so 53 is C. All right, 54. What term is used for the act of Natalie that Natalie committed? Let's see what Natalie did. So Natalie submitted a research project to her teacher, but she was penalized because the project contained words from another person's project and did not acknowledge the author. What did Natalie do? All right, let's look in the chat before I move. All right, so I'm seeing C. Everybody spamming C. All right, nice. So nobody thought it was otherwise. So it's C, right? Plagiarism. All right. So plagiarism. Natalie plagiarized. All right. 55. So the following would be best advice for Natalie. What would you tell Natalie to do? Right? What are the options displayed here? Yes, Trev. I see you. Yes, Jabari. Yes, Ashar. Yes, Renita. I see you. All right. Leah, you sure of the answer? Leah typed it a lot of times. Yes, Shani, I see you. Chalky. Alright, enough said. Alright, so 55, best thing for Natalie to do would be to paraphrase the ideas. Paraphrase basically means you put it in your own words, right? Change up the wording. Alright, and cite the original sources. So that's the best advice you could give Natalie. Alright, 56. So the following characteristics is not considered work ethic. Talk to me. Alright, we see some person saying A. Alright, so we're gonna look at A. A is the answer, right? Not B. A is the answer. Posture. Attitude. You have to have the right attitude when you're working, right? You can't have a bad attitude. Integrity, right? You need to be honest, right? You need to have good behavior. So A is the odd one out. All right. So if you're not sure, use elimination, as I said. We're at 57, right? Shuffle is not considered a desirable work habit in the workplace. Who's not seeing the question? Dia says she's not seeing the question. Dia, go back, rejoin the live if you're not seeing the question. I'm sure everybody else is. All right. So 57 is D, clearly, right? It's the odd one out. So sharing confidential information, is not good in the workplace. Yeah, it's blurry. Rejoin it. Yeah, maybe it's the internet connection. Let's rejoin it. Yeah. All right. Let's move. In work in the front desk, the law firm secretary interacts with clients as well as co-workers, treating all persons fairly politely in a professional manner. Which of the elements of desirable work approach are demonstrated in the scenario? All right, respect for others and courtesy. All right, nice. We're at 59. So the phone is not protected by copyright. 59. Let's hear the answers. 59. 59. Trev, you're on a roll, Trev. All right. Some persons say B, some persons say C, some persons say D. All right. So students, it's actually C. It's inventions. Now we don't want to go away, change and don't explain some of these questions for you. So why is it invention? Because you think an invention is something new that comes up. Why you can't copyright an invention? An invention is actually protected by what we call a patent. If you see a question about patent, you know it's related to inventions. All right, so you can research what is a patent and all of that, right? So all the others can be protected by copyright, but an invention is protected by a patent. All right, our last question, which are the following symbols in the case what literary work is protected? Everybody knows this is D. No controversy. Kiandra, I see you. All right, so 60 is D, students. All right, somebody said the teacher said it was B for 59. No, it's actually C. All right, so you can check that out. All right, students. So moving on. All right, time is going. Moving on. As we said, what we'll do for the other papers, if we see a question that we saw already, we just skip through it quick and fast. All right, we're not gonna spend any time on it. We're just gonna skip through. The new ones are what we'll spend maybe a little time on. All right, let's go. So we're gonna look at the 2020. Now, remember 2020. Somebody said go back to 51. We can't waste any time. Well, let me go as I see it in the chat. 51, 51. 51 is increased efficiency and speed. Unique advantage. All right. So remember, electronic filing has to do with filing on the computer, saving documents on the computer instead of manually filing, right? All right, type 1 will save the life after. All right, but let's move. So we're at question. We are at the 2020 paper. Now remember, 2020 was a COVID year and so forth, right? I think some of the questions changed, but yes, we're not gonna waste any time. All right, yeah, man, we'll do 2021 and 2022. That's the plan. All right, remember the video that I would have posted the other day is 2023 to 2024 that was done. All right, or 2024 and 2023. All right, this year now is 2020. All right, the year that quick COVID came about. All right, so yes, this is the year that multiple choice was only done. Only multiple choice was done, I think. All right, either 2020 or 2021. But yes, let's move. All right, first question. Going to live with my father in Jamaica. Casey whispered, and I won't come back. This is a new question. I don't recall. All right, but yes, it's A. This case, it's A. That shouldn't be a semicolon, right? Should be a comma. So A is the answer in this case. All right. Let me just rub this out. This person say I must go through. All right, number 2. All right, what's the answer? As we know, we won't spend any time. All right, we know the answer already. Number 3, new question. Although we read the book, said Alice. Number 3, talk to me. Number 3. Although we read the book, said Alice. What happened? All right, so it's B. This should be a comma. It's a full stop. It should actually be a comma instead of a full stop. All right. So let's go. We're at number 4. Number 4, we know these repeated. So I'm just going to shade them. The repeated questions, I'm just going to shade them. All right. I hope we're seeing it. If you can't see clearly, zoom up your screen. All right. This is a repeated question as well. So that's B. Shari and her assistant prefer to type the letters. Anna saying the paper is did already. No, Anna. Questions repeated. All right. Number 6. Talk to me. Number 6. Okay. So number 6 is a new question, English based. Number 7, scholarship and ceremony. Oh, sorry, shading too much. Scholarship and ceremony. Students behaved. All right. Received and congratulated. What's the answer? What's the answer for this one? All right, so it's C. Not C, sorry. All right, so it's B. The kite festival was postponed due to inclement. Which one of the weather? Yes, Taekwondo, I fixed it. Which one of the weather? Weather. All right, so the person's not sure. So it's C. Weather. All right, the weather condition. Moving on at number 11. Repeated question. It's necessary. Number 12. What's number 12? What's number 12? Person's not sure of number 12. Number 12. Number 12. All right. I'm seeing controversy here. Okay. So it's faithfully, students. Faithfully. This is from manuscript, right? It's faithfully. All right. 13. Visual display unit is best categorized as 13. All right. Some person's not sure. What's 13? B. Okay. So a visual display unit basically is a monitor, right? That's a screen they're talking about. 14. So the following is not an operating system. We've seen some new questions here. So the following is not an operating system. I'm sure you know what an operating system is. All right, person saying D. All right, lovely. So all of those from A to C are actually operating system. Remember, you have Windows 10 and Windows 11. You have Mac. You have Linux. You might not be so familiar with it, but you should have learned it, right? You should have learned it earlier in grade 10. All right, Linux and Unix. But yes, so MS Office is Microsoft Office, right? Which is Microsoft Word, Excel, and so forth. Let's go. C 15. Short phone devices may be used. We talk about this already. We know it's headset or headphones. All right. 16. Looked at 16 already. We know it's C. 17. The question changed. The wording of the question changed basically. Right? But it's still anti-glare screen is the answer. All right. Trev, you're getting every answer right, man. Trev, you're looking at your answer sheet, Trev. But it's that's good. All right, you know your answers. All right, we're at 18. Show the following storage media normally requires USB connector. We said that already. Flash drive. Show the following software is used to boot a computer. Hope you remember this. Danny? Yes, Danny, I see you. All right. So system software or operating system. Somebody asking what's number 15. 15 is headset. Headset or headphone, whichever one you see on the paper. If you see it come back on the paper. Alright. Computer software 20. New question again. What's 20? What's number 20, students? Yes, Hans, I'll do that. But it will be a run through. What's 20? Alright. So person's not sure what's 20. Alright, wait and I see you. Some person's not sure. Okay. Controversial. Okay, students. Now, some persons are saying D, some persons are saying C. Alright. Now, the answer is actually C. Now, why it's not D? It says a set of instructions accept, processes, and stores data for later use. This is not familiar to you, right? It's a computer's definition. D is the definition of a computer that you should have learned from your textbook. All right. So this one is actually for software, right? So it's C. All right. So don't let them trick you. 21. Repetitive strain may be avoided by doing what? Which is the most suitable answer. Notice they didn't tell you repetitive strain as it relates to what exactly. So you don't know if it's back strain or whatever. But what's the most suitable answer? All right. Yes. So it's D, right? Type in an ergonomic computer, right? None of the others are appropriate or suitable. D is the most suitable answer. All right. I know this isn't really clear. This image isn't really clear, but we can actually identify what it's asking. All right. So it says the correct term for the rectangle indicated by the arrow. Right here they're talking. What is that? What does this signify? All right. So we know it's a spreadsheet. So it's an active cell. Now students, ensure you know the different parts section right here, you see it on another paper, is the formula bar. Ensure you know where the formula bar, the status bar, right? I don't think they ask those questions, but ensure you know them. All right, name box. Make sure you know where a name box is. A question about name box came on a previous paper, I think. All right. So yes, repeated question. We know that in this case, right? They changed the word, the response. On the previous paper, it was barcode, don't it? Right. However, in this one, they have scanner. So a barcode is actually a scanner. All right. And 24 repeated again. They just changed distinct to unique. Now they changed unique to distinct in this case. So we know it's D, right? Which we talked about and we explained why it's D and not C. What does the proofreader's mark denote? All right, let's see if we know this. 25. What's 25? All right, some people are sure. All right, somebody's saying, what if they have both barcode and scanner? Right? You know, you put barcode, right? It's a barcode. But they would put both on it. I don't think they put both on it, but it's a barcode. It's specifically a barcode. All right. All right. Persons are saying close up, right? Those two brackets means to close up. You have too much space, you close up. All right. Moving. Now this question not really clear, right? I think this question could have been better, but regardless, we choose the most suitable answer. So which are the following manuscript signs should be used in the extract above? 26. 26. This person saying, all right, 26. Some person saying B, some person saying C. All right. Some person saying B and some persons are saying C. All right. Aisha says B, some person saying A. Now, controversial, right? More likely answer is B, right? Now, this answer right here, this sign right here is not a more modern sign, right? This sign actually means to insert a space, right? Just as though this one down here means to insert a space. So basically, it's the outdated manuscript sign. The up arrow basically means to insert, slash here means to use space. So B is the answer, state. All right, and also when you see state, a broken line is underneath information as well. When you see that sign to indicate that state means to leave unchanged. All right, so you can review your manuscript signs. Shall the following is the most efficient input device that can be used to capture data electronically? 27. 27. All right, so 27 is A. It's a barcode. All right, when you want to capture everything else right here, right? Code is not a capture method. All right. 28, repeated question. We say that slide master. 29, end of a business letter. We looked at that already. Say that writer's signature. All right. We looked at this as well. This is related to a memorandum, and we said that this is the format you have to from date subject. All right. New question again. Which of the following fields would be the best choice for the key field of a student's performance records system in a school? Now they're talking about database. So you learn that topic, database management, right here. So they're asking you, which would be the best choice for the key field? Key field, our primary key. You must remember that. If you did Microsoft Access database, you must remember the term primary key, and you see that on other papers. All right, what's the answer? All right, different answers, but yes. So admission number. Now, why is it admission number? Admission number is what you can use to uniquely identify persons, right? It's a number you can use just like how you have your ID number, you have a TRN number, sorry, or so forth, right? It is used to uniquely identify you. Persons can have the same name, right? So in database management, most times, as we said, right, a number is mostly used to uniquely identify persons. All right, minutes of a meeting, repeated question. We know this is a summary. All right, so that's D. Document stating what is to be accomplished at a meeting. Right, they change the question, but we know the answer. All right, agenda. We shall have the following. Letter style should the layout of all components start at the left. Let's see. Let's see. It's one of the first thing you do when you were typing. What kind of style? Devindra. Alright, Devindra, I see you first. Alright. Alright, I see other persons. Alright. Some persons not so sure. Alright. So it's blocked style. Alright, block style are full blocked or just block style, right? All elements of the letter would go to the left hand side. Alright, indented style, the first line of each paragraph moves away from the margin. Some elements are placed in different positions, just as with the semi-block. The semi-block is a less formal version of the block style, with the date going to the right, the complementary clause going to the right, moreover to the right as well. Alright, let's move. 35, 35 is repeat. No, 35 isn't repeated. What's 35? So the following items are normally located on a letterhead, on a company's letterhead or a firm's letterhead. That's the answer. All right. So the answer is name and address of the firm and telephone and fax. All right. Fax is kind of outdated, as you know. We more so work with email now, right? But yes, let's go. The short form is not a legal document. We looked at that already. No specification. Electronic mail is transmitted. Repeated question again. Computer. Website to website connection normally uses a. Alright. Let's see what persons are saying. We're at 38. New question. 38. New question. I see you. Devendra, you're on a roll, man. Alright. Controversy. Person saying different answers. Alright. Nobody saying D. Alright. Alright. Alicia said D. Alright. Now I saw this question from somebody asked a question in the comment section in the video that was posted. Why is it not hypertext? Right? Why is it hyperlink and not hypertext? Now we have to know the difference between the two. Hyperlink basically is like a web link, right? Like where you would maybe have, for example, wikipedia.com or Ministry of Education.org or something, right? Basically a website or a web link, www something. All right, that's the hyperlink. Basically, the hypertext, basically like an actual text with a link embedded in it. So when you click on that word, for example, it brings you to somewhere else. Example, you're in a document, you're doing a research and you're in a document, you're on an online article and it's talking about communication, for example. And you're at types of communication and you see one says, for example, electronic communication. and you can click. It's a clickable text. If you click on it, it may bring you down to another section that shows you all the information about electronic communication instead of you having to scroll, right? So that's the hypertext. So the hyperlink is the one that is used. All right, that's the most suitable answer. Let's move. 39, which are the following of not a form of electronic communication. All right, which are the following? All right, 39 is C, right? The odd one out. Courier mail is like DHL and so forth, right? FedEx, right? Those are couriers. So that's not electronic. 40, which are the following are normally used in sending electronic mail. Email the talking. Alright. We're at 40. Aisha, we're at 40. Evina, we're at 40. 40 C. And I. Alright, yes. So 40 C. So reference is not in it. Alright. 41. Which are the following factors should be considered when sending communication about a pending storm? Let's hear the answers. 41. New question. We've been studying, man. Trevor, I see you spamming the chat. Alright? Trevor sure of his answers. Alright, yes, everybody's saying the same thing. Alright, degree of urgency. Somebody was wondering why isn't it location? Location is important, but not as important as urgency or urgent message has to reach the other person. Alright? So it's C. Alright, we're at 41. So the following activities is associated, okay, repeated. So we know it's reply. 42 is D. Alright. 43. Alright. 43. Document that is used for the initial recording of data relating to business transactions is called a. What's 43? What's 43? Alright, everybody study. Everybody study. Aisha. We're at 43 now, Aisha. Refresh your stream. Alright. But yes, so I have 43. 43 is A, source document, right? Those who do accounts, right, should learn about source documents, initial recording of transaction, or the original, where you find the original details of a business transaction. So example, an invoice, right? So if they give you an example, question on the exam, saying something about invoice, what type of document, right? You know, it's a source document, all right? So ensure we know what is a turnaround document and a machine readable. I talked about that on the previous video. Alright, let's move. So the following storage systems would be most suitable for a client register in a large organization. We already know it's A, right? We don't have to argue that. Electronic, right? That's where we're going now, right? We're trying to move away from the manual where you have to put files in folder and stuff like that and filing cabinet. We're moving away from that. All right. 45. New question, yes. So the following strategies would best reduce the risk of invasion of privacy over the internet. Controversy with this question, but let's hear what you have to say. 45. All right. No controversy, it looks like. Persons know the answer already. All right. We see some controversy now. All right. So persons saying D, increase the level of security settings on the browser. You could do that, right? So yes, you could do that. However, they are saying which is the best, right? So out of all the options, which is the best? Not all the options are applicable, but which is the best out of all that is displayed. All right, so encryption techniques is the best, right? When you encrypt, the encryption techniques are used, persons can't track you, right? Persons can't get your information, basically, right? Can't get your information that easily, basically. All right, but yes. So we're moving on. Best mechanism to secure files against corruption and uncontrolled access is, alright, so it's C again, encryption in this case, but this is a file encryption. Alright, so in this case, it's a file encryption. Okay, ensure you know that. It's a file encryption. Alright, give me a second. Alright, so file encryption. Let's move. This is 2020 for person who ask charada 2020. Let's move. So at 47, shall find this repeated question. So this is C, increase efficiency and speed. Shall the following devices is best used to capture responses directly from a questionnaire? 48 students. Talk to me. John, everyone will pass after viewing this. Alright. So data reader. Right. So remember, you get information from a questionnaire. Alright, let's go. 49. Shall the following is used as a guide in scheduling? Which are the following? We're at 49. Alright. Alright, bright students. So, you learn about something called a file retention schedule. Right? So, you learn another topic under filing. Right? File retention. Moving. So, remember that those weren't so sure. File retention. Alright, so retention is the answer. Visual filing is located at the lowest level of the structure in an electronic filing system. 50. You get a lot of new questions with this paper, 50. Is that the lowest level? Alright, everybody's saying the same thing. So file. Now ensure you know the structure, right? A folder, right? A drive, a subfolder. The drive would be the highest, right? So think of a flash drive. You have a flash drive, and then on the flash drive you have a folder. Inside that folder that you create, you have a subfolder, and then in that subfolder you have a file or a document, right? So that's how it is set up from largest to smallest in that explanation. Moving, 51. So the following includes characteristics such as honesty, trustworthiness, and having strong moral principles. 51. Alright, 51 is C, integrity. Alright, moving on. Or up, I should go up. So the following is not a desired habit in the workplace. Look at this already. Oh yes. D. Sharing confidential information. Look at this already, which is, you said that it was C, right? It is copyright. Alright, 54. New question 54. What's 54? What's 54? What's 54? I need to zoom up. Zoom up a little. What's 54? Person saying it's blurry. If it's blurry, review, refresh your screen. Or refresh your link. 54 is A. Alright, yes. So 54 is A, students. Right? Remember APA format. What you have to do for your SBA for the bibliography or the reference section. The last name, the first initial of the person, the year in which the document was published, title, publication year, right? That's for a book, right? Similar to with a website, where you know a website would have a publication, right? Section, all right? But yes, that's how it is set up. All the others are far off because you have to start with the last name of the person, all right? The author of the article or the book in this case, all right? 55. So the following list is placed at the end of the research paper. I don't need to say anything else. I don't need to finish a sentence. All right. 55D, bibliography. I even said the word a while ago, not too long ago. And another word for bibliography is what, students? Somebody type it in the chat. What's another word for bibliography? Another term for bibliography is called. Nobody knows. Okay, thanks, Chalky. All right. Thanks, Diviakar. All right, so it's reference. Yes. So we're moving. Which of the following is an example of literary work? It's a poem. To prevent plagiarism, what can you do to prevent plagiarism? 57. All right, so 57 is C. All right, 7 is C, so it's I and I, 1 and 3. Right, copy and paste would be a suitable thing to do. All right, 58. Talk about this already. All right, treat others politely and professionally. Right, it would be respect for others and courtesy for 58. All right, 59. New question. Illegal copying, distribution, or sale of proprietary software is known as. So when you take a software and you copy it, or you distribute it or you sell it, right? What are you doing? What are you committing? Yes, Trev, I see you. All right, so everybody knows. All right, so it's not computer theft. It's not software fraud. It's software piracy, right? So it's D. All right, that's a term that is given, software piracy. And then we know this answer already, right? Simple as that. All right, so that's the end for 2020. All right, so we're gonna go 2021, 2022. All right, quickly. All right, so all of these, as we went through already, went through all of these ones already. We know this is A as talked about, B. All right. All right, talked about these already. Let me just go through them and then we identify new questions. All right, so we don't need to respond just yet. Don't need to respond just yet. I'm just gonna mark off the ones as we see these are repeated. No, 4 is the one with the S. All right, so shall, necessary, output. All right, we're wasting time going through. I'm just gonna look at the new questions. All right, just gonna scroll through. As I said, we want to go through as much as possible. All right. Um, question 15. Question 15. Let's look at question 15, students. What would be question 15? Question 15. All right. All right. Some person saying A. Some okay. Majority saying A. So it's A. It's a pointing device. All right. The trackball and mouse are pointing devices. All right. All of those are repeated questions. I'm not going to bother to shade them. That's a waste of time right now, and time is going. You need to go to your bed soon so you can get enough rest. All right. So you're fresh and ready for tomorrow. So I'm just going to scroll through and let's look for the new questions. All right. So when you're watching back the video, you know, if you don't see a mark anything, you know that it must have been repeated. All right. Yes, that's repeated, repeated, repeated as well. All right. Yes, that's repeated. All right. This question 31. Um, it's similar to a question. However, remember they just said something about keys, so they put primary key right here. Oh, 30. Question 30. Question 29. I'm moving too fast. All right, so we're at 29 students. New questions. What's 29? Yeah, we're going to 30. What's 29? What's 29? Hands. We skipped through because we looked at the questions already. The questions repeated. So what's 29? So the following task does a spreadsheet allow users to perform? Alright, some persons saying different things. Alright. 29, not 25. Phase, not 25, we're at 29. We skipped through 25 already. We looked at it already. 25 is B. But we're at 29. So 29, let's see what a spreadsheet does. So you can start and extract data from a list. Yes, you can do that in spreadsheet. You can store numeric data. All right. You can perform automatic calculations. All of those are included. All right. So 29 is these students. So persons who are not so sure, remember all of these are things that spreadsheet can do. All right. Microsoft Excel. Which are the following sets of words contains editing techniques? Let's hear 30. What's 30? Persons just joining and asking for certain questions. We're skipping through because we would have looked at them already, right? And on previous papers. All right, but we're at number 30. What's 30? All right, some persons saying different answers. All right. All right, students. So persons saying different answers. The answer is actually A, right? Don't get tricked, right? Because in Microsoft where you think underline, when you underline something and you shade and you bold and all of those things, you might think that that's editing. No. If your teacher went through editing tools with you, right? There's a topic where it tells you cut, copy, paste, move. These are the editing tools or techniques. All right. These are the editing tools and techniques. Juliet, what you are asking me to read? Respond quickly, Juliet. What are you asking me to read? All right. 31 is repeated. 32 is repeated. 33. Try to find means of communication is appropriate to use when transmitting a message to members of staff about an event. What's 33? Kevdan says Mark the same way. Kevdan, you're just joining. Alright, I'll do that. I'll try to do it as quickly as possible. Alright, 33. What's 33? 33 different answers, but some persons majority is saying the right answer, so it's notice. Alright, somebody said it was D. It's not D. We looked at a similar question where the answer was D, right? But that's because they were talking about what is to be sent to the persons, right? Before the meeting is kept. Alright. In that case, it was an agenda. right? So that they could know what is going to be spoke about, talked about at the meeting, right? But in this case, a notice. You have to send them a notice of the meeting, notice of a meeting as a meeting document. All right, an advantage of using the internet for our research is a new question 34. We're at 34. Most suitable answer for 34. Sharda, we are at 34, Sharda. Moving too fast. 34 is a new question. All right, so 34 is B, most suitable answer. Readily available and users can access latest research. All the others are far off, right? All the others are unacceptable. All right, 35. Everybody must know this, Can't get this wrong on the exam. 35. Okay. Word. Don't look at the question carefully when you're in the exam, because they are close. You can easily shade the wrong answer. All right, or click on the wrong answer if you're doing it on the computer. So it's World Wide Web. All right, world, the word world, wide, and web. All right, moving. Which of the following actions is best for responding to an email you have received? Right, we know it's B. This one, basically, they just change up the question in our way. We know it's similar to one that was asked. All right, 37 is computer. 38, electronic communication. All right, 38. That's 38. What's 38? All right, so 38 is D. All right, nice. 39, which are the following sequences for including an attachment in an email is correct. All right, new questions. I hope we're looking at them. All right, what's 39? So when you're attaching an attachment, what do you do? Right? When you're putting an attachment in an email. All right. So person saying it's B. All right. So you click attach. You go to browse. You select the file and you press open. All right. Yeah. So you can even try it when you're in your email. All right. Just to be sure. So that's the answer. We're at 40. All right. New question again. As a customer service rep, you're required to inform clients about events and promotions. So the following sets of procedures is correct for sending an email to clients. Devindra, I see you. Tashamara, Tasharma, Tashana, I see you. Alright. Jada. Alright, person's not so sure. Alright. So it's A. Person said it sounds like D. Alright. Now they're asking you basically which one is the best option. Alright. Which works with email right here when you're sending an email. So some emails are set up differently, on your phone might be set up differently, right? But it's a standard thing, basically. All right, so new message, right? When you send out a new message, you add your recipient, the subject comes after, the message comes next, and then you send. All right, so it's A, students. All right, so the following statements is true about a message window. All right, 41. Let's see what you have to say. 41. Aisha, you're not sure? Aisha said, I don't know. Aisha ain't sure you know now in case it comes on the paper tomorrow. Alright, so B is the most suitable answer. Right? Let's look at the others. You must enter details in each field. You don't have to you don't have to enter everything in each field. You don't have to put a subject. Right? So the email will send without a subject. The contents of the subjects are displayed in the are not displayed. Of course, it's displayed if you put it in. CC field contains direct recipient email address. No. So B is the most suitable answer. All right. All right. 42. Which are the following sequence of steps should be selected to apply override protection to a file before sharing with others? Now, override protection, Shalini, you say you're barely making out the words. Refresh your live stream. Refresh your live stream. I don't know why you're barely seeing it. Alright, refresh your live stream. That's the reason why you may not be seeing it clearly. Alright, but yes, let me zoom it up a little as well. Alright, what's for 42? Person saying C. Alright, so some person sure, some person not so sure. You are going a little bit fast. Alright, we're going fast because we're scrolling through the questions that we would have done before. Alright, so sorry for those who are just joining. That's why we're going a little fast. I don't know where time is going, but we'll try to balance it. Alright, so it's C. You can try it out on your own. Right? You go to documents, you select the file, you select properties, and you put it on read only. So override protection means that persons can't edit the file. They can read it, right? I'm sure everybody must have seen a file in read only mode, right? You can read it and think, but you can't make edits to it. You can't change it up or anything. Alright? But yes. Yes, Shaquan, and sure you remember the questions as well. Alright, let's go. So a document that is used for the initial recording of data, we talked about this being A already. Alright, 43 is A. 44, we said that 44 is A, right? If you can recall from the first quest, the previous paper, please read out answers, right? So electronic, A, 44 is A electronic. I'm also shading the answers for persons who are saying I should read out the answer. Alright. Question 45. We said that question 45 is a repeat question. It's B. Alright. 46 is a new question. What's the answer? Somebody asking if they can watch it back when the live is finished, right? I'll try to post it after on the channel. Alright. So for a graphic file, basically talking about a picture, it's PNG. What's another one you can use for a graphic file or image? Another common one. Another common format. Anybody knows? All of these are file extensions. Anybody knows another one for an image? Type it in the chat. JPG, right? JPEG or JPG. Nice, nice. We know. Alright, so JPG, JPEG. That doc is for Microsoft Word, a Word document. That text is for plain text. EXE is for executable file, ensure we know them. PPT is for PowerPoint, right? Ensure we know them. Alright, a number of them are there, so you review. Abby, we'll soon be finished, Abby. We know you're tired. Right? Which are the following actions would best guard against? We talked about this already. 47 is A. Alright. 48 we know is C. 49 we know it is D in this case. 50 is file. Alright. 51 advantage of electronic filing, increase efficiency would be C. 52 Repeated question, it's poem. 53. Copyright, we see here it's a repeated question. 54. All right, 54 is a new question. Let's hear the answers for 54. 54, it's a new question. $54. All right, people saying C. People saying A. We're at 54. 54, we're at. 54 doesn't. Devindra, look at the question. You're answering the wrong one. Trev is the first I see you don't know the answer. Alright, I know this one would give persons a little challenge. Alright, nobody has put the right answer. Oh yeah, some persons put the right answer. Alright, so in this case, as I said, this topic falls under intellectual property, right? I'll talk about moral rights and economic rights and so forth. Alright, so economic right is the answer. Your economic right, basically, that is saying that you are supposed to get payment when persons actually use your product, right? So you hear them talk about royalties and so forth, right? The artists talk about royalties, right? They are supposed to get for the use of their music or so forth, all right? So it's economic right, all right? So you can review that in your under the topic intellectual property, review moral right as well, all right? Which are the following measures allow owners to hold information concerning commercial practices of knowledge of a business. All right, what's 55? 55, controversy. 55. All right, some person saying D, some person saying C. All right, so it's D, students. Now, let's explain why it's D. Trade secret, right? Basically, they're saying that a person should not release information about a particular product, right? Particular product or service, right? You should not do so, as you know this can jeopardize the business. All right. Now, trade secret falls under that basically, right? You should not release any information. This is information that can harm the business. All right. Now, Sajida, refresh your stream if it's lagging. Now, trade secret. Anybody can tell me an example of a trade secret? When you hear about trade secret, what comes to mind? Popular restaurant. Popular restaurant all over the Caribbean, right? All right, Cleo, I see you. Alice, I see you. Right, so KFC, right? KFC's recipe. Yes, Julia. Yes, Nathaniel, I see you. All right, so a trade secret. KFC has a trade secret, right? Remember they talk about KFC having herbs and spices, right? They have a trade secret for their secret recipe for the chicken. All right, so that's a trade secret. Let's move. The people or organization that make legal agreements with producers to print, film, record, and disseminate their work can be described as who? $56. 56. All right. 56 is A. 56 is A. Could it be C? Right. It's already talking about people or organizations. Right. Basically, persons who own. This is a question from another paper as well. They word it in a different way, but publishers and distributors is the answer. All right. 57, repeated question. We know that it's I and I, right? So it will be C. Now the following is not protected by copyright. Remember, we spoke about this already and we said it's inventions, as inventions are protected by copyright. All right. Remember we said that this is software piracy. All right, last question for this paper. So the following groups of people can access and use the work of the copyright owner if it is acknowledged. All right, controversy. Person saying different things. All right, I just want to clarify that. Right? Remember, we're here to clarify. All right. All right. So it's B students. B. Now, why is it not all of them? Right? Some persons are saying D and so forth. All right. Now, remember, producers and owners. Right? Why would they need to get access to use their own work? All right. You don't need access to use your own work. Publishers are distributors. They are the ones that are given the task to publish or to distribute to make it be placed on platforms and so forth. So consumers or users are the ones usually using the work, right, of others. So it's B for this. All right. So we're done with this paper. This paper, which paper is this again? It's 22. It's 22. All right, so that was 22. So basically at the end, we're coming to the end, right? Remember, so this is 23 persons who haven't watched the video already, right? That was posted on my channel for your preparation. I went through 23 and 24. We're in the live, and basically we're just going to use these as our final, right? The 23, and then we'll look at the 2024 and we'll end the live. All right. So repeated questions. I'm going to skip through some of these. All right. Right here. Vital is the answer. This is English based question. 22. We just went through 22. Type 1. All right, Trev. Take care. Best of luck. And tomorrow we'll talk. All right. We'll see if we can get responses or get feedback from the people. All right. So we're looking for new questions. We're basically looking for new questions. We're not going to spend any time on the ones that we already know. All right. Number 12 is received. All persons knew that. All right, Marissa will try to post as soon as possible. All right. Motherboard. 14 is D. 15 is C. 16 C. Again, as we know. 17 B. 18 A. 19 B. 20, as we know, is flash drive. 21, question repeated. You know that this is active cell. All right. So we can just look for now. We don't need to make replies just yet. All right. Devindra, you surely get a 1 then if you did well on it and you did good on the SBA. So just to maximize on your paper 1 now. All right. What we said was this answer. It's B. All right. Not health. Sorry. 22 is A. It's a safety practice. 23. We know it's scanner. 24. Remember we said it was D. 25. Said this was close up. All right, 26, new question. 26, new question. Let's hear it. What's 26? The steps, let me zoom it up for you. The steps to add the main heading new syllabus are, what's the answer? What's the answer for 26? Some person saying A. Some person saying different things. All right. The answer is actually C. All right. That's the most suitable answer. It could be A. Right? A, when you right click on something, it's going to give you some options, right? Options to choose from. So you double click, right? Here is the main heading section. You double click in there, or you just click in the section, and then you are able to type your information. All right. So ensure you know the different parts in PowerPoint. Which are the following? 27. Most efficient input device used to capture data, right? So in this case, it's a barcode reader, right? In the previous question, they just had scanner for the answer. All right. Question is the same, but the response is different. Okay, we're at 28. A new question. Copying a paragraph and pasting it in another document is an example of. Talk to me. We're at 28. We're at 28. What's 28? All right. 28 is A, editing. 29, repeated question. So that's signature. Producing information from queries and tables in a specific format. It can be printed from a database is done in the form of a. All right. Many persons are saying it. So it's a report. This is a database question. All right. Nice. All right. Repeated question. So the following fields will be the best choice for the key field. All right. Admission number or ID number or whatever. Right. Unique. What's unique? What you can use as a unique identifier. All right. Document stating what is to be accomplished at a meeting. We said that was agenda. All right. New question 33. All right. Not really new. They just changed it up a little. All right. What's the answer? All right. So person saying it's A. Right. So A, so you're going to sort the information. All right. Advantage of using the internet. We said that this was B. $35, we said it was C in this case. 36, 36 is reply. 37, 37 is D. 38, hyperlink, as we talked about. 39, courier, so it's C. 40, which are the following keys uniquely identifies each record in a database. 40, what's 40? What's 40? What's 40? Oh, somebody said I got 35 wrong. Yes, 35 is A. All right, thanks. All right, so going too fast. All right, so we're at 40. What's 40? Fourth is primary key. Fourth is a primary key. All right, remember we say a unique identifier. 41. 41 is a repeated question. All right, you can enter. So 40 is A in this case. So they change up the position of the question. All right, you can enter more than one email address in the two field. All right, repeated question. We just look at this question not too long ago. We say it was C. 43. You know it's a source document. 44. You know it's electronic. 45. We say that is apologies. Then minutes. Then matters. All right, so it's C. 46 encryption. 47 A. 48 C. Alright, so we see a lot of repeated questions. 49 is D. 50 is A. 51 is D. 52 is poem. Renee, you're just joining, Renee. 53 is C, as we said. 54. Natalie again, remember Natalie? Right, so Natalie, plagiarism. 55. We know we said Natalie should paraphrase. Devindra, hopefully they repeat for 2025. Don't. Alright. This is what again? Copyright. Alright. 57 is D. 58. Here are you guys' favorite question? Invention. Alright. 59. Software piracy. 60. Group of people can access. Use the work of copyright owner if the copyright owner is acknowledged. All right, and we say that it's consumers, so it's B. All right, so that's for the 2023 paper. One more paper now, the last year's paper, which will be the finale. All right, so we're gonna go through each and every question, as more than likely, most of the questions will repeat from this paper. All right, so if you see these questions, let's go. So you go to the exam, you're ready to go, right? As you just leave the marathon. So you know, number one is A, number two is B, right? Number three is B, number four is D, number five C, number six D, number seven C, number eight C, number nine A, number 10 C, number 11 A, 12 D, 13 A, 14 C. Let's see if we find any new question. All right, this is a new question, right? I think so. Alright, which of the following devices would be used to capture the data shown in the image? What's 15? What's 15, students? 15 is C. Alright, so ensure we know what it means. It means optical mark reader is a bubble sheet, right? So it's an optical mark reader is used to mark it. Right? OCR is optical character reader. So ensure we know the difference, right? And we know we have barcode reader. Alright? So OMR, right? 16 is repeated. We know it's anti-glare screen. 17, furniture. 17 is C. 18, flash drive. 19, operating system. See, they change it up. Operating system. 20, flash drive. 21, said it's D. 22, so it's a safety practice. 23, typing on an ergonomic keyboard. 24, oh, this wants to be zoomed up a little, can't see clearly. 24 is C, not C, sorry, 24 is A. Wanted to show you other questions with the document set up in different ways, but ensure you know. Alright, 25 is A, just went through that. Darky, you save too fast. Darky, you just join in. We're just going through because we basically went through all these questions already. They're repeated on other papers. Alright. 26, not repeated. Which of the following commands is not a formatting feature in Word? Alright, so page length for 26, 27. You saw that on a previous paper. It's A. Alright. 28. Alright, new question. 28. What's 28? What's 28? Alright, 28 is A. 29. Repeated question, so it's I and I. No, wrong thing. So it's all of them as I said from before. So sorry. So 29 is D. Alright. 30. Repeated, we know it's report. 31. We know it's specification. And 32, new question. Alright. So which of the following formulae should be placed in cell B7 to produce the total values in B2 to B5? 32 students, talk to me. What's 32? Talk to me. Alright. So most persons saying the right answer are all persons. Alright. So remember the formula. They want to add up. Right? It's equal sum. We have no formula that we learned about in EDPM called equal add. Right? So it's equal sum B2. Remember the cell address B2 colon B5. Alright. So B is the answer. Alright, show the following predefined functions in a spreadsheet can be used to arrange scores. Yes, we talked about this. You know, it's sort. 34. Advantage of an internet for research. And we said that it's readily available, right? And you can access latest research. So C in this case. 35. What's on a letterhead? We said that the name and address and the telephone number. Salutation. Salutation is like the dear sir or madam or dear whatever it may be. right? The greeting. So that's not in the letter N. So it's I and I 35 is A. 36. New question. Which of the following formats was used to achieve the orientation of the column headings? Talk to me. Alright, everybody know the answer, man. So you recall this from your SBA. You're supposed to do some type of tabulation with a different type of heading. Right? So right, if the average person might look at it and say it's a diagonal heading, right? But we know it's actually called an oblique, right? Oblique heading. Alright. We can apply horizontal is the regular one. We can also apply vertical headings. Alright. But oblique is the answer for 36. Alright, 37. We know it's computer. So old question. 38. Shall the following is a disadvantage of electronic communication. Right. So 38 is what? 38 is D. Yes, nice. 38 is D. 39. Repeated question. Right. 39 is a repeated question. Which of the following instruction provides the correct sequence of steps including an attachment. Right. So it's B. You click attach. Right. Alright, this one is email, right, which is the most suitable. So new message is the one that you start off with. We spoke about that. For 40 is A. 41, which of the statements is true, repeated question, right? You can enter more than one. So 41 is B. 42, repeated question again, right? They're asking about override protection. Remember, we say you go to documents, you select the file, select properties, and you put it on read only. Alright, 45, source document. When you see source document, you know that's the answer. Alright, you didn't have to read the question, but ensure you read the question in the exam tomorrow. Alright, when you see this, you know it's reply. Alright, so replying to an email. Sorry. Alright, reducing invasion. We say that you use encryption. Sorry. Sorry, let's move. 46. We say it's a financial statement, balance sheet. We also trial balance in this case, right? Financial statements, best mechanism to protect your files, encryption, right? Which will scramble the information persons can't read, or scramble the data. All right. In this case, it's email. All right, 49. 49. What's 49? Wait a second. All right. So 49 is what person saying? Some person saying retention. Alright. Guy uses a guide when scheduling. Yes. So 49 is retention. Repeated question. Now, question is there. Suppose they ask, they may change the question in a way, and they ask you what is to be done after the file retention period, right? You know that would be disposal, right? So after the file retention, you might archive. I don't remember what the question is set up exactly, but in that case, it would be disposal, right? Because after the archiving phase, you know, you're going to dispose of it by shredding, right? Or so or burning, right? Especially if it is confidential information, all right? So bear that in mind. But you'll know if you see it in the exam. 50, which are the following components located at the lowest level, right? We spoke about this already. We know it's a file. So let me just shade that. All right, 51. Let me shade it clearer. 51. Distinct advantage of electronic filing. Repeated question. You know it's B. 52. Artistic forms, right? Literary work. We said it's poem. 53. No, it's C. Purchasing another movie and making a copy for a friend. 54. We see our favorite person, Natalie, again. Right, so we know it's copyright. And we know that Natalie should paraphrase. Alright. 56. Right? People who make legal agreements with producers. You know, it's publishers or distributors. 57. New question. Let's talk. 57. We're getting to the end. 57. New question. What's the answer? 57. 57. 57. Alright, want to hear what person's saying. Some persons are saying A, some persons are saying D. So we're seeing A and D. A and D. Person says 54 is D, guys. 57 is D, guys. Alright. Oh, person says 54 is D. Oh, yes. Alright, thanks for the correction. 54 is actually D. Plagiarism, moving too fast at times. Alright, but yes. Alright, 57 is what? Alright. So 57 is A. Alright, Travis, I see you. So Travis is knowledgeable of the information. Right? So why is it not D? D says protection of rights of person who produces a new invention. Now, as Travis said in the chat, it doesn't have to be a new invention. Remember, an invention is basically something new, right? Something new that you may have came up with. Your intellectual property is basically anything that you make of from your creative mind. So a song is your own intellectual property. When you come up with a poem, whatever it is, once it is you that came up with it, right? Something unique, something new, right? From your creative mind, it is your intellectual property. All right, so don't let them trick you. This one sounded like it was it, but the invention, right? That's what threw it off. So remember, 57 is a student, right? Of a person to own their creative work. Anything you come up with that is creative, you own it. All right, you have the right to own it. All right, 58. Repeated question. Which employees interact with customers and demonstrate the ability to treat others? Right, we said it was respect and courtesy. All right, nothing about willingness or cooperation is there. All right, 59. Illegal copying, distribution or sale of proprietary software is known as. That's 59. 59 is A. In the previous question, they have it as software piracy, right? And 60, your favorite question at the end of the 2024 paper, we all know it's inventions. All right, students. So that's the last paper that we will go through. There are other papers, but time is getting late and we don't want you to stay up too late. The exam is 9 o'clock in the morning, right? You need to get your rest, you need to refresh, right? So that you can do your best on the exam tomorrow. All right. Now, everyone that's here, I hope you have subscribed already, right? Need to subscribe. I'm asking you please to subscribe to the channel, right? I've done my best to help you, to assist you preparing for the exam, right? Since the paper two, I've been, doing what I can to assist persons to do rather well on their exam. So I hope everyone here would have done well on the paper two, would have done well on their SBA, and are now fully focused on their paper one. All right. So I just want to thank everyone for joining in on the live marathon. I hope you would have learned a lot, right? I see many persons are fully ready, right? Many persons are answering all questions, right? So that's good. Many persons are answering all questions. Hopefully, students, these questions will be repeated just as they did with the previous years. And even if some don't repeat, it doesn't matter. You are fully prepared. I know most of you, if not most, all of you are fully prepared, right, for the exam. All right. So just want to end there, right? And I just want to wish everyone the best of luck. I just want to say all the best to everyone who is going to attend the exam tomorrow. And I want to get feedback from you, right? I'm going to do a poll tomorrow, right? I want to get feedback from everyone as to how the exam went. How was the exam for you? All right? I know everyone should be coming out of that exam smiling. All right, students. So subscribe for me before you leave, right? Like the live as well, right? See, we have a lot of comments, right? And I like that. So as we said, we're going to end the live now. Thanks again to everyone who joined in. All right. Take care for now. We'll see you tomorrow, God's will, when you give me a feedback on your exam. Take care now, everyone.